my God. I'm so mad. I was just about to say that if you see me looking out the window, that's because I smell barbecue and people are talking. I don't know what's going on, but I smell barbecue and people are talking. And then I turn around and see a bee. So I'm glad I did that. Let me get to the point of this video because I'm not editing anything out. I'm tired of editing myself. This is a big Book Phobia tag. I was tagged by, I gotta look on the computer. I know it's Miss Rod, Miss J Rod 1980. You know, I always feel like I'm gonna say people's screen names wrong, so I apologize for that, Miss J Rod 1980. I feel like I was gonna say Miss Rod 1982 or something like that. But anyway, thank you for tagging me. I just want to say also that I know I've been tagged in a couple of tag videos, and I'm sorry I hadn't got to those videos yet. It's not that I don't want to do the tags, it's that I don't want to fill you guys YouTube timeline with videos of me doing stuff like this and stuff like that, like cute kawaii stuff. So I was like, look, I'm gonna chill out and I'm gonna do one video a week. And so I'm doing this now Saturday because I'm about to go, and I don't think I'm gonna do this my day. And also I want to say, Rose, I apologize, I'm still working on that Disney Princess tag, but let me just inform you that what I was gonna try to do is make a Sailor Moon tag instead. So I've thought out the questions, I just need to get the damn video together. Anyway, on to the Book Phobia tag. What this tag is that you're showing a book over 500 pages that you haven't read yet, and you're going to explain why you have a fear of reading it, and then you're going to show a smaller book over less than 300 pages in which you want to share why you have read it. And I think the original video says do 5 books, but look, baby, we finna do 2 in each category because it's springtime and I'm ready to go. So let's go ahead and show the first big book that I'm so scared, which is not really true because I like big books, but you know, sometimes you just have to read smaller books first, that I want to read. And that is The Wild Rose by Doris Mortman. Here she is. I showed this book in another video, but I love her on this cover. I mean, she is just 80s, baby. I love it. I love everything 80s. Everything 80s. But this book was written in 1990. But the reason I have not read this book is because I read her other book called The Firstborn. Firstborn was about 4 different women who they're part of this this wealthy family, and it talks about like how their cousins are cheating on them with their cousins and all. It was just really good. Firstborn was really good. But this right here, I think the reason I haven't really gotten into this book is because the names are all Russian. No Budapest, whatever. I mean, the book takes place like all over the world, but listen, I am somewhat of a lazy thinker, but I can't be going Caitlin Gaspara while I'm reading and stuff like that, and Zolta Gaspara and Steve Quados and stuff like that. Like, I ain't never got, and Tibor and Major something, I don't know. Like, if you got a name with accent mark or something over it, then like, child, you gonna have to wait. But I don't know, that may be the biggest reason. But I think the reason I really love Firstborn was because it was about this thick. It was probably bigger, and it was just engrossing the whole way. This right here, it's opening up a little bit too slow for me with the girl at the piano. But I'm pretty sure that Doris Mortman is gonna be doing some backstabbing, people calling each other's bitches and throwing glasses at them and that sort of thing in this book. So I really want to get into this book yet. I didn't explain that book right, but that's okay because I hadn't read it. So the next book, which is a book that I have read, which is less than 300 or so pages, is Ha Jin's A Good Fall, and I read this book in one day. It's a collection of his short stories. Ha Jin, he's a Chinese writer, he's a Chinese author. He's living in America, of course, but his main focus in his books is he's writing about the immigrant experience from the perspective of Chinese immigrants. So that's what a lot of the short stories takes place in here. 2 stories that really stand out in particular to me is the story called The Bridegroom, which is about a gay Chinese man who is sort of I don't want to say pushed, but pressured into marrying a woman. And another story is one called, I gotta find this story because I really love this story. It's called, I want to say it's Children as Enemies, and it's through this perspective of an elderly couple who are living with their Americanized children and their grandchildren are super Americanized, and that causes them to butt heads to the point where at the end of the novel, the children tell the grandparents, look, if you don't leave my mom alone, we're gonna call the police on you. So the grandparents learn to mind their own business. Yeah, here, I'll read the first page. Our grandchildren hate us. The boy and the girl, ages 11 and 9, are just a pair of selfish, sloppy brats and have no respect for old people. Their animosity toward us originated at the moment their names were changed about 3 months ago. So that's really good. I love Ha Jin. If you read Ha Jin, start with this book. It is just, it's just so super good. Yeah, you just gotta read Ha Jin. So on to the next big book, and that will be Nelson Mandela's Long Walk to Freedom. Oh, I had this book since December, and I'm so pissed I haven't read it. But to be quite honest, I planned on doing a big book April, like reading all the big books that I haven't got to yet in the month of April, and this was on that list. But since I went to the bookstore and it ended up spending about $67 on other books that you've seen in my 2 videos ago, then I just threw that idea out the window. But I want to read this. Really, this requires no explanation as to why I want to read it. I think I bought this like shortly but after Nelson Mandela passed, and I showed it in another video. But just I really want to read this book, and I'm thinking, because I'm reading really quickly this month, that I think that after I read The Warmth of Other Suns, that I'm gonna be able to read this book, because this book is big and it's gonna take some time to read. So on to the next smaller book, that will be Reservation Blues by Sherman, Alexie. I just happened to pick this up because I don't know the requirements of this video, but I think this is a good book to show. I love, like I said in my other videos, I love a lot of culture, ethnic authors, as far as contemporary fiction, and Sherman Alexie is very good as far as showing, well, what else would he be showing is the experience of Native American people. I like this book in particular because, I don't know, it's just, I think it's my first book by him, first of all, and it's just, I love the story. The story is about a blues singer who goes onto a reservation looking for this medicine woman named, I think her name was Big Mama, and what happens is he ends up leaving his guitar, and so the kids, so they're like teenagers, early adult, they end up picking up his guitar, and they take his guitar and they go to different clubs or whatnot around the reservation, and they play for different people. But I think the big thing about that is that it has a magical sense to it, because Sherman Alexie is just magical with words, but I like it because it shows like little things that goes on Indian or Native American reservations. Like I think it had things about like how the government supplies them certain food rations. Like government. I remember there was an issue about government cheese in that book, and things like alcoholism that comes up sometimes on the reservations. And sometimes I think one of the things I got mostly from that book is that a lot of people on those reservations were kind of bored, and they really wanted to look for something outside of being on the reservations to brighten their colors and show what they're about. So that is the book, big books, little books that I want to show in this video. I don't know what time I'm at, what time it's here, I don't know, but I think that's good. I appreciate you tagging me, Miss J Rod 1980. I want to do a shout out video next, and I'm gonna start rambling, but that's gonna be it. I hope you guys have a good day. It is Saturday, it's gorgeous. I just want to say that I almost made the mistake of going back to my old job, and I said, you know what, let me think about this, because at my new job I work 6 to 2. I get off at no later than 2 unless somebody call in and wish they're gonna have a problem, and they already know not to ask my ass to stay. But I'm so glad I said no to that old job. I'm so glad I did, because if I would have said yes right about now, who's this calling me? Right about now, I would have been at work. So it's so great. I can go do whatever I want. So thank you guys. I kept you here long enough, and I'm going to do a shout out video next. And peace. I'm up out of here. Sayonara. Okay, so I forgot to do this. I know I'm not good at tagging people. I'm sorry. Sometimes the tagging thing, to me, it's unsaid to me. If you see the video and you haven't done the tag, please tag yourself. So that's just what I want to say. I could go all day writing a list of tags on people. So please, guys, forgive me on that aspect. I'm a guy, like, I don't know stuff. Like, we just don't think. I'm sorry. So if you want to tag yourself, please tag and link me below. So I'm sorry. Please don't be mad at me. I'm sorry. It's like I'm a lot of things, but I'm still a dude.